Alright, so good day everyone. In this video we're looking at binomial expansion. We're looking at the product of two binomial expressions. And we have a question here. Find the product of x plus 5 and x plus 3. Now there are two ways to look at this. So the distributive law says that if you have a product looking like this, it means you can remove the bracket by multiplying each term in the bracket by the term outside or the factor outside. So for this one we would have a times b plus a times d, and then we would simplify this to be ab plus ad. Alright, so let's look at some actual examples. So we're looking at binomial expansion, where we have the product of these two factors, x plus 5 and x plus 3. There are two ways to approach the question. There's one way where you can split the first bracket using the distributive law to multiply by the second bracket. So by that we mean we're going to take the first term from the first bracket, multiply, remember bracket mean multiply by the second bracket. Then we take the second term from that same first bracket and multiply also by the second bracket. Then we go ahead and do the actual multiplication, multiplying each term in the bracket by the term outside. So we're gonna have x times x, that is x squared. Then we're gonna have x times 3, that is 3x. Then we move to the next bracket and we're gonna have 5 times x, so that's positive 5 times x, positive 5x, positive 5 times 3, that's 15, positive 15. And you must have your signs between each term. Now generally for this kind of problem, your like terms will fall in the middle. So you write back your first term. When you're adding or subtracting the like term, the powers do not change. You keep the letter as it is and you add the coefficients. Here is a coefficient right there, that's the number beside the letter. Coefficient, that's the number beside the letter, which is actually being multiplied by the letter. Remember we said 3 multiplied by x to get 3x, right? So 3x plus 5x, think about it. 3 apples plus 5 apples. We don't end up with 8 apples squared. We end up with 8 apples. So this is going to be 8x. And then we write back our last term. So that's 15. So our final answer would be x squared plus 8x plus 15. Notice that there is a sign between each of the terms, and it must be a plus sign or a minus sign. And when you're finished simplifying, you should get 3 terms. And if it is a case where you are multiplying the same thing in the two brackets, but one has a minus sign and one has a plus sign, then you should end up with 2 terms instead of 3. Alright? So let's look at another example. You can always pause the video and write. Alright, so the next one we're looking at now is, let's do D. So we're gonna have 2x plus 5. Alright, let's do G instead. 2x plus 5 multiplied by 3x minus 7. So again, we are going to use the method of splitting the brackets. So we're going to take the first term from the first bracket and multiply it by the second bracket. Then we're going to take the second term from the first bracket and also multiply it by the second bracket. And then we're going to multiply each term in the bracket by factor outside. So it's going to be 2x times 3x. consider that you're multiplying the coefficients together and you're multiplying the variables together. Or in other words, you're multiplying the numbers together and you're multiplying the letters together. So 2x times 3x, that means we're multiplying 2 by 3, that's 6, and x by x, that's x squared. When we multiply, the powers change. When we add, they do not. Then we're going to multiply 2x by negative 7. There's only one x, so the power won't change. So that's going to be 7 times 2, 14. Negative 7. So it's negative 14x. Remember, a negative times a positive is equal to a negative. And a negative times a negative is equal to a positive. So let's continue. We're going to multiply 5 by 3x. That's 15x. And then we're going to multiply 5 by negative 7. That is negative 35. Once again, you can see that our like terms are in the middle. So that's going to be, we write back our first term, 6x squared. Negative 14x plus 15x is the same as saying 15 minus 14. And 15 minus 14 is a positive 1x. And then we write back the last term. So that is our final answer.